Hello, since posting the original videos that we did on feedback and the Prism map, some questions have been posted that I want to cover with you. So I've got 4 questions. I'll cover them in individual videos. So the first question, when you have a large gap between underlying and adapted, where the adapted is lower, does this always mean you should tap into this potential? So looking at the map, we have a couple of examples of that. So we have innovating, where the underlying line is high. You can see above 75, so a strong preference. And the adapted line is much lower at 35. And we have a similar, perhaps not quite so extreme here on finishing. So does it mean you should always tap into that potential? So the answer to that is not necessarily. So let me just explain that more. What this is showing is a natural preference that's high, but that's not being used at work. Why is it not being used at work? Prism doesn't tell you that. So you have to explore that through questioning. You have to understand what's going on. It could be that the role doesn't allow this person to use that particular behavior. It could be that the boss is putting more emphasis on other areas, so that behavior again isn't being used. Another reason could be this person is being pulled into areas outside of their comfort zone, and that's diminishing some of the other behaviors that are more natural. We can see a couple of examples of that here on the map, where this person is being pushed outside. So Prism doesn't tell you why. So you must explore that with the client. But it doesn't mean that you always have to tap into that potential. What it means is you need to recognize that potential exists, recognize there is an opportunity there, and look at how you could tap into that if the need arises for you to do so. But for instance, if the role doesn't allow you to use that behavior, you're not going to be able to use that behavior. If the boss doesn't want you to do that, wants you to focus on something else, you're not going to be able to use it. So it's all about exploring, understanding, and then helping the client decide on the best way forward.